Hello again, Phoenix students. It is your teacher here, Ms. Williams. I hope you are doing fantastic. Here we are in our next lecture, instructional video, mini lesson, whatever you want to call it. Come join with me. It'll be great. All right, so right now I'm going to share with you my screen. That is not what I would like you to see, but this here is what I would like you to see. Some feedback that I got from your fellow teachers was that I should be more like myself in the video, and so I'm going to do that. So here we are. It is Monday, March 23rd. Last week, you all worked on mini QPA number 1, which is your annotated bibliography, where you collected the main sources that you will be using for your religion for the unit, world religion, beliefs, and values. And so this week in particular, we are focusing on our research process step number 5, which is note-taking. And really today we're focusing on paraphrasing, what that is and why it's important. Okay. These are your targeted competencies. These are what you're going to be graded in for your mini QPAs and for your QPA. So please pause this video at this time and take a minute to read through these. Fantastic. So you should have paused the video for a few moments to read through competencies 1, 2, and 3, learn from the past, express oneself boldly, and lead inquiry. If you have any questions about these while we are out of school, please feel free to email me or email your teacher directly if you have any questions about this. All right, we're moving right on forward. So our goal of the lesson, our objective for today, is students will be able to paraphrase a paragraph from a source they collected on their religion by writing the information in their own words, reordering the words as necessary, and adding relevant words and or sentences. So as I said previously, we're going to be focusing on the skill of paraphrasing. You might be wondering, what is that, Ms. Williams? I've never heard this word before. What does that look like? Well, let's go to the next slide and go to the next page in your packet. So you should be on page 2 of your packet where it says mini lesson, and it has all the notes we're about to go over. Fantastic. So what is paraphrasing? Let's answer that first question, and that is the first bullet. To paraphrase is a rewording of something written or spoken by someone else, or expresses the meaning of you by using different words. Okay, so when you are paraphrasing something from a source or from an article or from a book, you are rewording it using your own words. Okay, using your own words. So your paraphrasing has to be coming from somebody else's words, and you're rewording it in order for it to have your own words. Okay, and this is done especially when you're trying to achieve greater clarity or understanding of a text. And this moves me right into why is this important? This is important because paraphrasing shows that you understand the source well enough to write it in your own words. And it shows you and the reader, which is normally me, that you have understood the source sufficiently enough to write it in your own words. So paraphrasing is a really, really great skill that we want to practice, especially since you all are you've collected these sources and you're using these same sources to produce a product or project on your religion. And when you're sharing it, you want to be sharing it in your own words, but you will be using information from texts and from different people. So you want to be able to paraphrase when you are note-taking, okay? So now we're going to look at an example. So what I have here is a little passage or a little paragraph from a website called the United Religions Initiative. And in particular, we're looking at the belief of Rastafarians. And so I'm going to read this, and I'm going to tell you the steps that I took in order to paraphrase, okay? The paragraph says, Rastafarians believe in some of the Bible mixed with some African beliefs and traditions. Rastas believe that they are one of the 12 tribes of ancient Israel. They believe that Ethiopia is their promised land. They hope one day to return there just as the Israelites returned to the promised land after being slaves in Egypt and Babylon. Rastas believe that God took human form first as Christ the Messiah, then as Rastafari, the Black Messiah. Okay, so when I was reading this text, I read it a few times just to make sure that I understood what I was reading. I also read it to understand, like, what are the main concepts within this paragraph. And the main concept, as I've said already, is that this passage is talking about the belief system of Rastafarians. Another thing that I was looking at was like, oh, if I'm trying to put this into my own words, then I probably need to like reword or try to use synonyms or even rearrange some of the words that I wrote. So the product that I came up with is at the bottom, where underneath where it says paraphrase, I wrote what I would write. Okay. Rastas trust that God became Christ the Messiah in human form and eventually transformed into the Black Messiah, Rastafari. There is a belief that they are one of the 12 tribes and that Ethiopia is a land promised to them. One day, Rastafarians hope to return to Ethiopia similarly to how Israelites returned to their promised land. Rastafarians believe in both the Bible and some African traditional ways. And then I put I put parentheses of referring back to where I got it from. Okay, so I want you to pause this video and I want you to either write down what I have here at the bottom in terms of like how I would paraphrase it, or you can pause the video and try to rewrite this paragraph in your own way. So please take a minute, reread the paragraph, and write down how to paraphrase it. All right, awesome. So you should have taken a minute to write down how I paraphrase this passage or how you would paraphrase this passage. And so on the next slide, I'm going to go through the 4 steps that I took in order to paraphrase. Okay, and this is going to be the notes section. So underneath this passage, there's a section that says take notes on the steps for paraphrasing, and that's where you're going to write down these 4 steps here. Step number 1 says, read the passage several times to fully understand the meaning. This includes pulling out major concepts in the text. Okay, so that's definitely what I did before writing my own, paraphrasing it in my own words. Number 2 says to translate the passage into your own words. So state the idea the way that you would state it, and you would write your version of the text without looking at the original, right? So based on what you've retained and what you can understand of the text, you're now not even looking at the original, you're gonna write down how you would write this out in your own ways. How would you state it? Number 3, compare your paraphrased text with the original passage and make minor adjustments to phrases that remain too similar, like flipping the sentences, moving the beginning to the end and the end to the beginning, or creating a whole new sentence structure. So if you notice in my paragraphs, what would have been at the beginning of the original was actually at the end of mine. And I moved things around, I moved words around, and restructured sentences in order for it to really become my own versus the original author of the text. And number 4, it says to cite the source where you found the idea. So if you notice at the end of my passage of paraphrasing, I put United Religion Initiative at the end of it to indicate that's where I got it from. That's where I got this information from. So although the information is in my own words, I also want to give credit to where credit is due by stating that this is where I did get this information from, even if it is in my own words. Okay. So at this time, pause the video and please finish taking notes on this 4 steps for paraphrasing. Awesome. So this time you should have taken notes on the 4 steps of paraphrasing. And what I want you to do now is practice. So I want you to read the following paragraph, and I want you to try to paraphrase it using your own words. It says, Rastas believe in living close to nature. They are vegetarians, and ideally they grow their own food. They do not believe in smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol or coffee. Interestingly enough, however, they do believe in smoking marijuana or cannabis, since this is them a natural and beneficial herb. They smoke it as part of their worship. So again, please pause this video and try to paraphrase this using your own words. Awesome. So you should pause the video and take a minute to use the 4 steps of paraphrasing. And you could have the same amount of sentences, you could have a less amount of sentences. As long as you are able to rewrite it in your own words and still convey the same meaning that the original text says, and you're able to quote where you got it from, that is perfectly fine. So please take note that paraphrasing is not going to look the same for everybody, right? Because everybody has their own vocabulary that they use, their own words that they use. So also keep that in mind and don't be super worried about that. Okay. And so the last part is you working independently. So the assessment that you're going to be doing for this lesson is you're going to be completing a graphic organizer in your handout that you have on Google Classroom. And now I'm on the 3rd page of your packet. And so it says you're going to complete the graphic organizer by choosing one source from your annotated bibliography. So you should have 3 to 5 different sources, but you're only going to use one. And as you read, you're going to choose 2 important paragraphs from that source that you think will be really important for your understanding and how it relates to your religion. And last part, you're going to choose those paragraphs and you're going to paraphrase what those texts say. Okay, so you're taking the text, you're going to put the source in the graphic organizer. 2, you're going to pull out what the direct quote is or the paragraph is from that source, and you're going to put it in the 2nd column. And number 3, you're going to paraphrase, meaning restate the direct quote in your own words and make sure you indicate where you got it from in your source. And if you're not sure what to do, look at the examples. Ms. Murakana came up with this example, so you can use hers as a way to navigate the graphic organizer. And so again, everything is going to be posted in Google Classroom and on YouTube, and I'm going to be posting up YouTube videos also into Google Classroom, so you can just directly click in there, or you can go directly to my YouTube channel as well. So again, YouTube videos are going to be posted on Google Classroom on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 10 and 10:30. I will be live for my A block class on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:30 a.m. to 9:50. I'm using a Zoom meeting link, and I'll post that again for my students because YouTube Live, you know, you like type it on there or whatever, and it's really cool, but I really want to see y'all's faces. So I'm doing a Zoom situation. And if you have questions, again, y'all have my work number and email me. But if you're not sure what block to go to on Tuesdays and Thursdays, definitely look at this schedule here. And you can always email me. And as always, the next time I see you all, we will be focusing still on research step number 5, which is note taking, but we're going to be specifically looking at how to use direct quotes. Okay, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed all of my silliness, and I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I will see y'all on Tuesday because you're going to be at my live session, okay, with questions and excitement. Okay, appreciate y'all. I will see you in the next video. Bye.